Well, good afternoon and welcome to Thinking Tuesday. You know, if it is noon on Tuesday, it's Thinking Tuesday, correct? And this is the time that I consider our thinking oasis when we take a few minutes at noon to check up on our thinking, check in on our thinking, see how it's serving us. We know that we're still celebrating in the month of May, thinking Tuesday on Tuesday, but Mental Health Month in the month of May, and assessing our thinking, looking at our thinking pattern, our thinking styles, and the thoughts that we choose to think is a major part of how we keep our minds healthy because we know that we become what we think. We are what we think. And our feelings are governed by our thinking, as I always say. And then our actions really are determined by our feelings. So it's a loop. We think, we feel, we do, and then we see the results. So we want those results to be positive, don't we? Right? The great news is that we have more control. We do have more control over our lives as more than we often appreciate. We can choose to be intentional about the way we live by choosing how and what we think. And having those thoughts dictate our feelings. And then the actions we take are dictated by those feelings, as I said before. So, in keeping with these thoughts, I want to remind you of our Thinking Tuesday motto. I'll always repeat it, even though some of you let me know that you know it by heart already, but there are always new persons listening to this. So, I do want you to know what our motto is for Thinking Tuesday. Our motto is Your mind is a garden, because it really is. And your thoughts are the seeds that you grow in that garden. And you can choose to grow flowers or you can choose to grow weeds. It's your choice. And this motto, why it's so important to me, why I love it so much, is because this motto reminds us of how empowered we are because each day, each minute of every hour, we can intentionally choose our thoughts. We can change or dismiss them, right? If they're not serving us well, we have that ability, that capability to choose our thoughts intentionally. If we're thinking about something and it's making us feel not in a good space, if it's not making us feel good, we can turn that thought off and begin to think about something more pleasant. Or we can choose how much time we're going to give to that thought. And then we're going to turn it off and go to something else. Because we do have the power and the capability of choosing our thoughts. We can't let our thoughts drive us. We have to drive our thoughts. It has to be the other way around. We can be in the driver's seat as we choose our thoughts. So we can dismiss them if they're not serving us well, if they're not allowing us to accomplish what we would like to accomplish in our lives or who we would like to become, if they're not lifting us up, we can change them. We're empowered to do that. And we really have to appreciate the control that we have about how our body functions. It begins with our thoughts. Don't dismiss your thoughts. And if you should find yourself acting in a certain way and you don't know why you're feeling that way or you're not really pleased with how you're feeling, take a step back. Stop for a while and reflect, well, what was I thinking? What am I thinking that's led me to feel the way that I'm feeling? You can short circuit that. I have really been keeping with our motto. I've really been enjoying choosing the various flowering plants for my garden in the spring and through the summer and even through the fall. You know, I'm intentionally choosing certain colors bright colors, yellow, blues, pinks, red, you know, purple. I'm choosing those colors intentionally. I'm even choosing plants that need sun, and I'm also choosing those that thrive in shaded areas. And I'm even choosing some that are drought resistant and deer and rabbit resistant because of those deer and rabbit that frequent my lawn. So I am intentionally choosing what I put in my garden because having that choice allows me to create a beautiful environment that I can enjoy, that I can relax in, that I can have happy moments in. So we all have the same ability to do that with our thoughts for the same reason. We want to feel good. We want to feel empowered. And we want to have thoughts that take us to where we would like to go. We want to create that mental environment that's healthy, that makes us feel good. We have the ability to do that. We design our garden, we design our thoughts, we design what we're going to cultivate and how we're going to cultivate our minds. So pay attention to your thoughts. Really pay attention to your thoughts. You know that when we do things intentionally over time, they just become a part of us, right? We do so much intentionally. They become a part of us. They become habits. That's how habits are formed. You keep doing the same thing over and over. You keep thinking the same thoughts over and over. Hopefully they're good thoughts, you know? They become part of our daily ritual, right? Unfortunately, though, there are things that we just do without thinking. We do them without thinking. We just see the results later without being aware of that they're doing harm to us. They're doing harm to our psyche, you know, and they also become habitual and bring us negative results. So choose what thoughts you're going to cultivate. Choose what thoughts you're going to put in your mind and harbor in your mind. Just like I'm intentionally choosing the flowers that I am putting in my garden. My garden is really looking good. I really enjoy being creative with those different colors and the different plants and where I'm going to situate them around the lawn. So, my suggestion to you is become more aware of what you're thinking, become more aware of what you're choosing to plant in your mind's garden. Determine why you're having the thoughts that you're having. Why am I thinking about this? If it's bringing me an unpleasant feeling, taking me to a place where I don't want to be, dismiss those thoughts. Dismiss those thoughts. See how your thoughts are affecting your behavior, whether good or bad. Be in control of what you're thinking. And have the courage, this is the main thing, have the courage to change them if they're not serving your best interest. Because you have a thought does not mean you have to continue thinking that way. And if you have a thought that's a good thought, yeah, write it. Take it for a ride. Take it for all you can, right? Because that's going to help you generate some feelings that will carry you through the day, keep you in a good mood. Not saying that there will not be challenges, but just be aware and then have the courage to change them if they're not serving you well. That's my big tip for the day. So I was thinking about my mother, right? My mother observed her 101st birthday on Mother's Day. That was a glorious day. We had a wonderful time with relatives and friends around, and she just had a wonderful time. And everyone who knows my mom or who sees her says, what's your secret? And my mom is a little reserved, and she says, well, my answer is I try not to dwell on negative things. And that's true. My mom has always chosen what she's going to focus her attention on. So that's her secret. Now you have it, at least part of the secret. Her answer is I try not to dwell on negative things. That means that she has made it a habit of not burdening herself with things that are beyond her ability to change. She's been very, very consistent about that. And she chooses what she'll give her attention to. If she feels that there's no way she can change it, she dismisses it. She doesn't burden herself with those thoughts, and she focuses on where she can make a difference. I know that her secret is also her faith and her prayer life. And she's a devoted a Christian, and she prays every day. She has been, and my father have been at the forefront of our spiritual development. She keeps her mind sharp. All has to do with the mind. She's 101, but she keeps her mind sharp by enjoying word search puzzles and coloring. Her hands are very steady, and she does some wondering color in her coloring book. Her memory is sharp as a tack. Sharp as a tack. She remembers things from way back that I don't even remember. And I am truly, truly inspired by her daily. And thank God each day that she's here with me. I just want to be like her when I grow up. But that's her secret. She doesn't burden herself with negative thinking. She removes herself from negative spaces as much as she can. You know, this is the kind of mindset. This is the kind of mindset that does not always come easy. Does not always come easy, because oftentimes circumstances in our lives do dictate how we think and how we feel and then how we behave. But in the end, it is always, always our choice to choose how we're going to navigate through those life's challenges. It's always our choice. Our thinking, how we think is the door to freedom. How we interpret those challenges and how we choose to respond to them will determine how and if we conquer them. But we can conquer them. It's a mind game. Really, it's a mind game. The secret, the real secret, if there's such a thing, because it's available to all of us, the secret to an empowered life is really based on how we think. How we think is empowering. And how we think can be very debilitating also. But here on Thinking Tuesday, as we're cultivating our mind's garden, we look at how we can empower ourselves based on how we think. It's as simple as that, I'm going to say. But we know that it takes a while to develop that type of thinking, to make it become a habit. So what burden might you be carrying today that you can begin to release? Release by reframing how you think about it. Doesn't have to be that one thought. Doesn't have to be a one-track thought or one-track mind. But how can you reframe how you've been thinking about whatever burden you've been carrying? What challenges can you begin to overcome by changing the way you think about it? Just flipping that, even though it might be gradual, it might not be a quick flip. Some things are a quick flip. Some things might take a little while, but as long as you're aware that you have the ability to switch your thoughts around, to change them. What new thoughts can you begin to cultivate, perhaps, to help you move beyond being stuck in your current stuck position, if you're stuck? No one likes to be stuck. I don't like to be stuck because stuck stinks, and who wants that, right? But the answer to becoming unstuck lies within you, within me. That's where the answer is. Sometimes we need someone like a coach. That's what I do with my clients. Help them to get unstuck. Many times we have those thoughts that just keep us in an unpleasant or an unwanted position. And because it's such a part of us, sometimes we don't even realize that that's what's keeping us where we are. So we need someone outside of us to help us find what's inside of us because it's all there. So changing your thoughts is the beginning of changing your life. Changing your thoughts is the beginning of changing your life or segments of your life. The late Wayne Dyer says, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. When we change the way we look at things, those things change, right? It's also said that people want to change their circumstances, but are not willing to change themselves. You know, we complain about things that are happening around us or what people are doing or whatever it is that we don't really like. But how we look at those things, how we deal with our thoughts about those things, allow us to see those things differently. So if we change, or when we change the way we look at things, the things that we look at change. Because the change begins with us, how we think about them, how we look at them, how we interpret them. So what thoughts are you willing to change today to get you on the right path? Just think about that. What thoughts are getting in the way? What thoughts are getting in your way of getting on the right path? Whatever that thought might be for you. Just practice one day at a time. It's not going to come easy. It's not going to be overnight. But you are empowered. You are empowered to change your thoughts so that you can change those aspects of your life or those portions of your life that are not going well for you. There's no magic. It takes work, yes, but it's possible. So as I always end, I hope that this has added value to you. And if it has, please share it with someone who you feel could benefit from it. Because when we find something of value, we want to share it with others, with our loved ones, our friends, our co-workers, whoever that might be. This message, as well as my previous messages, are stored on my YouTube channel, Thinking Tuesday, Cheryl Burton. When you go there, please like and subscribe so that I can continue to share these messages with you. You may also visit my website, drcherylburton.com, to see all the programs and services that I offer. And as I always say, if there's something that you want that's not listed there, please reach out to me. Don't make that stop you from reaching out. You can reach out to me for a confidential, complimentary consultation so that I might help you think through some of those challenges, some of those dreams that you are hoping to accomplish that somehow have remained deferred, or you're stuck in a position and find that you can't move through. I'll be pleased to help you with that. A 30-minute complimentary confidential consultation. You may also book me through my website to speak at any of your events. Please feel free to come back next Tuesday at noon. Meet us here again during this Thinking Oasis, as I call it, for Thinking Tuesday, and share it with someone who is able to benefit from it. So take care. Be aware of what you're thinking. Know that you're empowered to change your thoughts if they're not serving you well, and to reinforce those that are serving you well. So thank you for joining me again. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at noon for Thinking Tuesday. Take care and bye for now.